So I am speaking this morning with Denise Levy, and Denise Levy is the author of Around My Table, Food Inspired by My Travels, which is a very beautiful cookbook. And we're going to drop the link below. Denise wrote the book over a period of time and ended up getting hold of the book in her hands last year. So she's been walking down the process of being a published author and getting her book out and onto the shelves for the last maybe 6 months. So we wanted to find out from Denise just some of the things that she encountered, some of the tricks, some of the setbacks on walking this road to getting the book out herself and getting it onto shelves. So welcome, Denise.
Thanks, Sarah.
Just maybe let's start with just asking about the general choice to self-publish your book. What made you make that particular choice?
Okay, I think there was never a question about the self-publishing, because this for me was always going to be more than just a book. It's a legacy that I'm leaving behind. It is my life story. It's very personal. A lot of stuff from my journals and all that kind of thing. So I didn't want a publisher to just go, okay, cut that, and I'll be left with a recipe book. That was I didn't want that at all. And I know, having you edit it, Sarah, it was amazing because you know me, and you could cut out the waffle, which wasn't necessary, and get to the bones of what we wanted to say. And that was really amazing. But I think the main thing for the self-publishing was the control. I really wanted control. This is not just a story, this book.
And I think as well, Denise, which maybe people aren't aware of, that you also have a large brand, a cooking school. So as well as that, you also have that space where you can sell your book and you're getting clients and feet through the door. So you really were investing in your business as well, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, having Ginger and Lime at the interactive cooking school, people, we had thousands of people every year going through our door, and it was a natural thing for them to buy the book on their way out. And certainly we do a lot of corporate team builds, and then they would give that as a gift to the people that attended the course. So I did have a ready-made audience, and I also had a website of my own and so on. So it was a very easy platform to add this onto as one of the other things that I do.
Fabulous. Now, so people often think that, oh, it's quite an easy process to take these words, take these photos, put it together and get a book, but it's not. It's not. You really experienced that. Some of the difficulties. Just maybe walk us through a little bit of what went on there.
Okay, well, the first thing I would highly recommend is that you do a retreat. If you're starting anything, is you do a retreat, because it kind of makes you bring everything together in one place and gives you focus. I mean, that if I hadn't done that, I wouldn't have been able to do that. So that is the first step, to do that. It also then lets you see what you've got, material you've got, what material you haven't got. And yeah, it really lets you have the steps. There are a lot of steps, which I found out. And we actually had, through you, we had an amazing producer who was very tough on us. And that was a very important thing to have her. She sort of controlled us. She gave us deadlines. She brought in all the detail that we didn't really know about, that was necessary in a cookbook. People writing measurements and the glossary at the back, and all kinds of technical things that we had absolutely no idea, how to do in this book. So she was incredible, being a specialist as she was, and she took care of the liaison with the printing company, and that is obviously very highly technical. She also threw half of them back. She wasn't happy with the print. I probably would have said, oh, but they look beautiful, and just accepted them. So it's very important to have the right person producing the book as well,
Absolutely. And that, Denise, even for me, having worked in books for so long, working on a cookbook, there were absolutely, because you're mixing a very expensive process, which is photography, with a high quality print product, you really don't want to get anything wrong. It is not something you want your cousin to lay out. This really is something in which you do have to go with a very professional solution. And it was an eye-opener as well for all of us. I think for me as well, to be involved in it. It was just Tell me a little bit
Yeah.
about, just to fast forward a little bit to your launches, okay? Because you
Okay.
didn't have a publisher behind you. Um, how did you actually decide to take your book to market, and what events and how did that work?
Okay, twofold. I did have a PR, Kathy Steed, PR, and she helped a lot with getting the book out to all the magazines who wrote articles on it, who published pictures out of it, like in Fair Lady and all kinds of the magazines. They also put it as kind of book of the week. So she managed to get us a lot of publicity like that. Then she also got us into exclusive books where we did a launch, and we did like a food tasting from the book. And so that went amazingly well. And the main launch was when I did Kitchen Collective, which was the sort of brand new ginger and lime holding company. And we did a joint launch of Kitchen Collective and Around My Table. And then we could invite 100 people. So it was amazing to be able to have a large amount of people that are really targeted, with something that will entice them to come to the opening of, because I think that's the thing, is getting the people there. They all get so many invitations the whole time that you really need to entice them with something special to get them to your launch. So yeah, and then we did quite a lot of sales there.
So yes, so now you've launched the book, and it's been a few months down the line, and obviously we can't, you can't continue with all these big launch. You're out of the launch phase, and now this is the bit that really is the longer haul for authors. The concept that this book is going to be 5 years. You're going to be slowly ticking over with sales. How, Denise, have you found these ongoing, slow, steady sales that really make up, I think, what most authors really don't realize is the body of sales over time?
Yes, it's you're actually not always 100% sure of how they are selling, because they've gone into the stores, and I don't think we've had any returns, which has been amazing, but there haven't been that many huge reorders either. So, there's little orders here and there. So as you say, it's ticking over. Because of Ginger and Lime, and because of my website, and because I do quite a few public kind of appearances for Ginger and Lime, I think that keeps my book alive, and hopefully will keep it selling through the years. But I knew it was never going to be like a wow bestseller kind of book. It was always meant to just be there and ticking along. And I'm just so happy. I mean, the first time I walked into exclusive books and I saw the book on up there right next to, I don't know who, to Jamie Oliver and Donna Hay. I mean, I was so happy. I was just beyond excited. And I mean, I had the best team with you guys, the best team all working with me. And I have to say that the input from the team, we had regular meetings where everybody came to, and that just made it really powerful to have professionals around the table all putting their input in, and not one picture was left untouched or one font was left untouched. Everything was discussed in detail, and I think that's how it's rounded. And when you pick up the book, you look through it, and I've had nothing but incredible feedback from people who have just read it or cooked from it or done both, and I think it's because of the detail. So that is very important, to double check everything, not to rush through the process. It's a long haul. Yeah.
And, what I love about what you're saying is, because it is such a long haul, which, I mean, many, many people who want to bring a product out, bring a brand out, bring a print product out, don't realize the length of it. Not just the working on it, not just the writing, the dreaming, but then the editing process. And then all of these things which you were saying, the returned books that they broke and the cover's wrong. I mean, we've had that. We're on a third run and still the colors wrong, and they're being sent back. So there's a lot of things that can go wrong in the process. But I think it's firstly the two things are just how long it takes just to get that book into the shops eventually, and secondly how much fun you should have doing it, because you, I think, brought a team, you had fun, you laughed, it was a joyful thing.
Absolutely.
And that's really what is important, isn't it?
It's so important. I think that comes through it. We came away to the beach houses where I am right now as well, and we did the shoot over over a couple of days with my cooking team and my photographer and stylist and so on, and that was amazing. You know, having it all live, and we just like did one dish after the other dish, had wine in between, had a laugh, started again the next day, and that really was fun. You know. And then the sorting of all the photographs, because as you know, there's millions of pictures and each one of those, had I known, like each single one of these pictures, each one had to be reproed and every single one touched up, and that expense just kept adding and adding, and they kept saying, are you sure you want them all? And I was, go for it, I want every single picture in. It was a tough decision financially, because obviously the costs went way over what we thought they would be. But you can't compromise. I think that's the end of the day. My biggest advice: don't compromise on what your vision is. It's in print. It's there forever, hopefully, or certainly for your family, it's there forever. And don't compromise.
Absolutely, absolutely beautiful. Thank you, Denise, for all of that. And yeah, just such a incredible project. You know, that's what it really is. As you said, it's a legacy. It's just, and I have this book in my kitchen of Denise's gorgeous face staring out at me, and I have also cooked many of the dishes. But it's also just so lovely to have that person, not a Jamie Oliver, Nigella Lawson, somebody far away, but somebody local, unique, and you know, just coming out on the page. So I am going to drop the link of the book below this, but they are in all good bookshops or at Ginger and Lime Food Studio. And where do they find that? gingerandlime.co.za.
gingerandlime.co.za, absolutely. Yeah.
Denise, thank you so much for your time.